Do you know what the worst flooring decision you can make in your home that will decrease the home's value? If you don't, this video is for you. I'm going to be going over the top flooring choices that you can make that will increase the value of your home and the worst ones that will decrease the value of your home. In addition, if you stick around until the end, I have the worst thing, the absolute worst thing that you can do to your floors that will decrease the value of your home. So let's get into it. I've seen a lot of floors in homes. I've gone into thousands of homes and I've seen hundreds of thousands of pictures online of homes. And I can tell you flooring is a really, really big deal when somebody is looking to buy a home. The reason is because it is very expensive to replace flooring, and flooring can be very personalized. So it's really important that when you're choosing your floors correctly in your home, whether you're just remodeling and you want to live there, or you're deciding you want to move and you want to replace your floors, it's really important you think about this and understand what is going to give you the value and what isn't when you go to sell. Now, many of you may remember the video I did that was about the tile in my house that I hated. Now, our house that we bought had been on the market for a very long time and it hadn't sold. The reason it hadn't sold was because of the tile. The tile was everywhere. I mean, this was a big project. To remove this tile was going to take a lot of time, effort, and money. And many buyers just thought, you know what, we don't want to handle that. We don't want to do it. So they passed on the home. So when I saw the house, I saw a lot of potential in the home. And I also said, you know what, we are replacing this tile. We have to get it out. I want to put in something that really, really works for us. So the choice of tile that was in this house was the reason the house wasn't sold. And that I've seen many, many times. Later in the video, I'm going to show you exactly what we replaced it with and why, and help you figure out if this is something that you should do in your home as well. Now, you guys know I'm a real estate agent, and I'm always telling you that you need to talk to a real estate agent early because they're your partners in updating or remodeling, deciding layouts, things like that. What are buyers looking for? And you guys know you always can reach out to me if you need an agent. I do have a link below. You guys know that. And I always say a decorator is different than an agent. And it's true. Now, in today's video, I'm telling you, your real estate agent cannot make your flooring choice for you. This is where you do need probably a decorator. And the reason is because there are so many different choices in flooring. And I'm going to be talking to you about the different types of flooring, but within each of those, there are thousands of choices. And a decorator is really going to be able to tell you kind of what's in style and what's not. I can tell you as an agent what is going to sell. So if a decorator puts something in, most likely it's going to work, it's going to match. What I don't want you to do is go out and choose tile or floors that are your preference without really talking to a decorator. So even if you're just doing this for yourself and you're never thinking about moving, I highly recommend you get a decorator. Now, I've said that very, very rarely in my other videos, so please take it to heart that this is not a decision for your agent to make. This is a decision for your decorator to help you with. Hey everybody, don't forget to download our Seller's Playbook. It has everything you need, whether you're moving in 6 weeks, 6 months, or 6 years. So let's talk first about my favorite flooring. And this is pretty much everybody's favorite flooring. It's probably not going to be a surprise. Hardwood. Love hardwood. Now, in the Chicagoland area where I grew up, hardwood was everywhere. I mean, it was the top choice for homes in the Chicagoland area. And I went into many homes that had put carpet on top of hardwood, and that just is never good. Like, hardwood is what people are always looking for. And there are many reasons why. I feel like it exudes a warmth. It exudes just this feeling of comfort when you're in a house. It's a little bit softer when you're walking on it, and it just feels really, really good in the whole setting of the room. Hardwood really has a timeless appeal. I mean, hardwood could have been put in 50 years ago, and you could refinish it and make it look good with today's trends and today's colors. And they're really durable, and they last a really long time. Now, many people will say, well, we can't put hardwood in our kitchen because it might get wet. And I'm going to disagree with that statement. Hardwood can be used in kitchens because typically things are not getting incredibly wet unless you have a huge leak. So if you have hardwood on your first floor, I do really recommend putting hardwood into the kitchen as well on the whole first floor. And people do love hardwood because it is just cleaner. You can clean it better than you can carpet. So it really is something that retains its value. Now I will talk about hardwood in bedrooms. Many people love the feel of carpet in bedrooms. And if that's how you want to live, that's totally fine. But many times you can get an area rug that can do the same types of things as carpets in the bedrooms, and it can be a big area rug that you can put down on the hardwood. So if you're doing that for personal preference, totally fine, no big deal. But keep in mind, when you're thinking about selling, everybody loves hardwood. So my second favorite choice in flooring, which I was just introduced to this when we moved into a warmer, humid climate, is the engineered hardwood. So engineered hardwood has a thin top layer of wood. So you can get a couple of thin layers of wood on top. And then underneath it, it is a very hard substrate of a plywood or a high density fiberboard underneath it. So it's a very strong type of flooring. As I said, in the Chicagoland area, everybody can have hardwood floors. In the more humid environments, nobody can have hardwood floors because they will warp. And so in exchange for those, you can get engineered hardwood floors. And this is the choice that we put into our house to replace the tile. I have to say, I love it. I really, really do love it. We went with a very wide plank and we got to choose the colors that we wanted. Now this is very durable. We do have a dog. You guys have seen my dog Hollywood, and she is a big dog. And I will tell you, I have not seen a scratch on these floors because of her. It wipes up very, very well. It's very clean. It's very tough. And it feels really, really good. It feels that nice and warmth that the hardwood does give you as well. So if you are in a humid environment, I am really going to recommend the engineered hardwood. It's still, hardwood is most expensive. Engineered hardwood is just right below it too. So this is not something that you're doing lightly. This is something that you're really making an investment. But if you are deciding that you're making an investment in your home and you're going to be there for many, many years, I would choose one of these because it just feels better in the home and it's always going to retain its value. Now, engineered hardwood, you can also refinish a couple of times. It's not as durable as the hardwood in the refinishing, but you can. The engineered hardwood does come together in pre-finished planks that you kind of put together. Now, we did not do this, of course. It is expensive to have somebody install it as well. But I really like the idea because we did buy some additional flooring because we are going to make a few changes in the house, and now it will be the same color when we make those changes. Hopefully, crossing my fingers. But the point is that if we had put hardwood in and we had to add additional hardwood, we would have had to refinish all of the floors in the whole first floor in order to make sure it all looked the same. That is not necessarily the case with engineered hardwood. So keep in mind that if you're changing something down the road, maybe you could buy a couple extra boxes of the engineered hardwood and then you can use that and it will match. Again, these are conversations I want you having with your decorator. I don't want you just going to the flooring store and asking the person who's on the floor there what you should choose. That's not the best way to go. I want to make sure that you're getting some professional advice. Now, my next choice in flooring, which I think is really a very, very good option, especially if you're moving and especially if you're looking to save some money. Maybe your house is at a lower price point and you don't want to put in the hardwood. It's not worth it. You'll never get it out. You don't enjoy it, whatever it is. This is a really, really good alternative that is cost effective. And right now, the way this flooring looks really does add value. And that's luxury vinyl plank. So this is something that's really come a long way over the years when I've worked in real estate. And I've seen a lot of different substrates, and some will be called laminate, some will be called vinyl, and none of it has really looked very good. This is called luxury vinyl plank. So I do think having the word vinyl in there does give it a little bit sometimes of a negative connotation, but this is a really, really great option. It's very tough. It's got a top coat that is clear and it's very durable. And right beneath that layer, which you can see through, is a composite picture of whatever you want it to look like. So if it's a fake hardwood or stone, that is kind of a picture underneath this tough top. And then you have a harder core level underneath it. So this is very easy to install. Again, I don't recommend a DIY. None of my videos recommend a DIY approach to much of this unless you know what you're doing, but this is an easier installation. It's going to cost a lot less money than hardwood or engineered hardwood, and it's very durable. Now, the thing about this though is it looks really good. I love the aesthetics of the luxury vinyl plank, especially if you're thinking of moving in the next couple of years and you don't want to invest that money. Now, LVP which it is also called, can be punctured and it can be scratched. So it's not as durable as the engineered hardwood, but it is really, really a great alternative. Now, I have added a section in my seller's playbook to accommodate some of the information I'm talking about in flooring here, along with different vendors that provide a very high quality of these different flooring options that I'm giving you. So that seller's playbook, there's a link below, or you can scan the QR code that we have here. We've had almost 10,000 people download our seller's playbook, and I'm constantly updating and revising it. And this time I'm adding all the information about the flooring in it as well. So now that we've kind of started with my favorite, now I'm going to kind of get to my least favorite. Now, this is also personal preference for me, but I'm going to give you some real reasons why these are not great options. Now, I don't love tile. I'm going to give that to you straight. I don't love ceramic tile. Porcelain tile can be very nice. Ceramic tile is not my favorite. And the reason is because there are so many choices for you to choose. And most of the time, most homeowners kind of choose wrong. They kind of choose the incorrect one because they choose what they like. So which if somebody is choosing a ceramic tile, you really need to get a decorator. Now, many homes in the South, the Southwest, only have tile, only have ceramic tile, maybe some porcelain, but really, really ceramic tile. And that is because of the ease, that's because of the humidity. And, I'm saying what I'm saying with my perspective on it. I want you to recognize that if you're in a home that is calling for ceramic tile because it's in some type of a Southwestern mode and that's the way that it looks, and to put something else in would be ridiculous, that's fine. What I'm talking about is the buyer's perception. What adds value? The reason that ceramic tile does not always add value is because it is really hard to remove. It's very costly and is very time consuming and difficult to remove. So that's why ceramic tile is it's not one of my favorites. Now in bathrooms, you really do need to go with a tile, ceramic or porcelain. Again, I want you to make sure that it works. I want you to look at that decorator at this point. So before you put in that tile, just make sure you know it's the right one, because that one, if you choose wrong, it could cost you a lot of money in the long run. So now we're coming down to my least favorite flooring that really is not going to add much value in your home. I know a lot of you are going to love carpet. Carpet, here's the thing about carpet. Nobody really likes anybody else's old carpet when they move into a house. Some people love carpet, and that's totally fine. I know if you love carpet, that's great. But if you are putting carpet in, you're planning on moving in more than 7 to 10 years, most likely you are going to have to replace that carpet before you move, because carpet doesn't look fresh. It doesn't add value. It doesn't hold up to high traffic areas. And so any buyer is going to say, oh, we need to replace that carpet, or you are going to have to replace it. So if you're putting in carpet because you think that it's cheaper, really, you need to look at how long you're going to be in that home. Are you going to be there 10 years? Well, then you're putting in 2 times carpet. So then you might want to choose a different option, and maybe it might be a little bit more money in the beginning, but you're going to save it in the long run, and it will add value to your home, and it will help you sell. The other thing is that there's so many different types of carpet as well. You really, really need a decorator, just because they're different tones. And the cheap kind of carpet is kind of like the plush kind that you might get at like a Home Depot or something. And the more expensive kind, the really nice, maybe like a low pile of some sort, is going to be much more expensive. And if you're thinking of moving, you're going to put that high pile, and people can tell that just looks cheap. It doesn't exude luxury. So if you're putting in like a luxury carpet, okay, that's fine. I'll go with you on that one. But if you're thinking you're just putting in like maybe a medium to a high pile that's a little cheaper, it will not add any value to your home, and you might end up replacing it as well. Now we are at my worst types of flooring options that I don't want you putting in unless you really have no other alternatives or your home is not very expensive at all. And the first one is just like a cheap laminate. I don't want you adding a cheap laminate to your floors because you think it's cheap and it looks okay. It just completely decreases the value of your home, because a buyer who comes in is going to think, this is really bad. Like, we're going to have to replace this. So it's not something that they want to replace. It's something that they kind of have to replace. Now, it can be very cost effective, and it can also look okay. So it might look okay in pictures, but when that buyer comes into the house and they're stepping on this, you can feel it. It just feels almost like sticky. It's almost like it sinks a little bit when you're walking. It's just not something that's going to add any value to your home. And the worst type of flooring that you can add to your home, vinyl sheet flooring. Now, I don't think you need me to tell you this. Like, you probably already know this, but I am telling you that vinyl sheet, when you roll it out and you just kind of lay it down on top of a floor, it does not look good. Many people are saying, oh, well, you know, we can just lay this down right over our tile. And that is not good, because you have to remember, anytime you lay a flooring down on top of something else, the doors cannot get over the flooring because you have increased the height of the floor. And so your door might have to be shaved down in order to get it open and shut. If you guys have floors that you want me to take a look at, go ahead, join our Facebook group. You can upload pictures of your floors in there, and I will make sure I comment directly to you and give you advice. I'm making you tens of thousands of dollars more when you go to sell your home. Either scan the QR code or go to the link below. Now, I'm going to show you this example that is not what you should do. And I found this on a website, and they're trying to sell you vinyl plank flooring, which, remember, I said I loved. This blog post talks about how they put vinyl plank flooring on top of hardwood. I mean, this is like the worst thing you can do. I never want you putting any type of substance on top of your hardwood floors, unless it's carpet in a bedroom. That is truly the only reason why you should ever cover up hardwood floors. Hardwood floors, whether they're the thin plank or the thick plank, really don't go out of style. Yes, more are trendier at a certain time, but all hardwood retains value. And so please, for the love of God, never put anything on top of your hardwood.